Welcome to the Shreveport Connection with Tommy. This video is on your Hell in a Cell pay-per-view results and also the pre-show. And live from the TD Garden in Boston. As Renee Young welcomed us to the Hell in a Cell kickoff pre-show. She joined in by Lita, Jerry King Lawler, and Booker T. To hype the show and matches and plug the WWE Network. Survivor Series. Also, they go back to Tom Phillips in the Social Media Lounge. He's joined in by Raw Tag Team Champion The New Day. Later on, the fans submit their questions with the hashtag of Ask New Day. Then we go back to the panel for the hyping of tonight's U.S. title match. Renee led us to a video package and then confirmed that Rusev versus Reigns will open the pay-per-view. Booker goes with Reigns, while Lawler predicts a new champion. Lita agrees with Lawler. Back for the break, and we see a TD Garden filling up as a cell hangs above the ring. Renee welcomes Bayley to the panel and asks about her match with Dana Brooke tonight. Bayley says tonight is about revenge, as Dana made it personal a few weeks back trying to injure her. Bayley said she's here to be at the top, to win the title, and here to take Dana out if that's the next step. She also said that she thinks Sasha Banks will retain tonight, and she will be there in line for a title shot. Renee hypes Enzo Amore and Big Cass versus Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson next. We get a video for that match, and everything leading up to that. Lita goes with Enzo and Cass. Both Booker and Jerry the King Lawler disagree. They go with Anderson and Gallows. Get another break, and we come back to a video package on tonight's Universal title match. Booker goes with Kevin Owens, while Lita and Lawler predict Rollins to win the title. Back from the break, and Raw Cruiserweight Champion TJ Perkins is backstage when Brian Kendrick walks in. Very similar to what happened on Raw last week. Kendrick brings up how he asked TJ to let him win, and says he needs this. Perkins said he has a lot on the line, too, but it's not about that. They're representing the entire Cruiserweight division. Kendrick says that their friendship can just be like old times if they can get through this. Kendrick goes on, and Perkins tells them to forget about the past. They will always be friends. Kendrick says he needs this. Perkins tells him to go out and be the Kendrick that he used to know. Do it the right way and try to win. Perkins goes to leave, and Kendrick stops him and says he needs to let Kendrick win. Kendrick walks off, but we go back to the panel, and Rich Swann has joined them. Swann says Kendrick's request is disrespected to the whole division. Swann ends up dancing for the panel. Ari and Daivari, Tony Nese and Drew Gulak versus Sin Cara, Les Dorado, and Cedric Alexander, which are pre-show match. We'll go to the ring. Corey Graves is on commentary with Mauro Ranallo and JoJo introducing Sin Cara first. Les Dorado was out next, followed by Cedric Alexander. Tony Nese was out first for his team, followed by Drew Gulak and Ari Daivari. Two teams met in the middle of the ring after the bell. Sin Cara starts off with Nese, and Nese drops Sin Cara first. Back and forth as they go. Nese comes off the ropes, but Sin Cara catches him in midair for a backbreaker. Gulak is in now, runs in, but Sin Cara hits him with a backbreaker. Daivari was in next, but Sin Cara also slams him. Nese provides a distraction, allowing Daivari to hit a neckbreaker for 2 count. Daivari with a headlock now. Dorado and Nese are in. Dorado with some nice offense and a spinning heel kick to take Nese down. Dorado goes to the top for a shooting star press, but Gulak broke up the pinfall. Cedric and Sin Cara come in to take Ari and Gulak to the floor. Dorado goes up top, but Nese cuts him off, and they go at it again. Nese counters and launches Dorado on the top of Cedric and Sin Cara. We got a commercial with the heels in control. Back from the break. Daivari is in control of Dorado in the ring. Daivari with a jumping knee for a 2 count. Gulak tagged in and goes to work on Dorado with a submission. Gullik worked on the leg. As Nice tags in to keep Dorado in the corner. Nice ends up hitting a springboard moonsault for a 2 count. Alexander finally gets a tag, and the babyfaces unload, nailing a triple dive to the floor on their opponents. Gullik and Cedric go at it now. Gullik with a dragon sleeper. Nice stops Sakara from coming in. Dorado with a leg drop from the top. DeVary takes out Dorado. Sakara rolls DeVary up. Powerbombs him. Nice with an inverted slam on Sakara. Cedric takes out Gullik, but gets rolled up for a 2 count. Cedric ends up catching Gullik in a lumbar check for the win. After the match, babyface stood tall and celebrate. Back from a commercial break. DeVary is in control. Dorado in the ring. DeVary with a jump. Well, we're already ready to finish for that. After the match, babyface stood tall and celebrated. To go back and forth back to the social media lounge. Tom was with the Raw Tag Team Champions New Day for lots of shenanigans here. We get more hype for the panel, and that's it for the pre-show. I come in. I got off work after when I went to visit my mom. She's doing a lot better. Off of the, she got her chest tubes pulled out, but she's still having to use a ventilator. She was struggling to breathe. So, but after they took the chest tubes out, she sat up for like 4 to 5 hours in her chair out of the bed. And my brother even went to visit. Thanks, Jerry. She needed that. That cheered her up for the day. All right, we'll get hype for the panel, and that's it for the pre-show. 2016 Hell in a Cell pay-per-view open up with a video package on tonight's triple main event. They kind of spoiled it a couple weeks ago with your main event of the women setting up the final match. Live from TD Garden, Boston Pyro goes off. Michael Coleslaw welcomes us. He's joined in by Corey Graves and Byron Texan. We see the cell down around the ring for the opening match. First of the Hell in a Cell matches. We got Rusev versus Roman Reigns. That was advertised from the pre-show. We go to the stage. Out first comes Lana. She introduces her husband, Rusev, who marches out to the cell, and it is for the first time. Here we see the Spanish and German announce table at ringside. U.S. Champion Roman Reigns was out next to a mixed reaction. The bell rings and they go at it. Rusev gets the upper hand, but Reigns fires back. Rusev drops Reigns and covers for 1 count as a dueling chant start from the crowd. Rusev ends up sending Reigns out to the floor and then follows behind him. Reigns blocks Rusev and goes back in. Reigns follows out, but Rusev takes him in the corner. Reigns fights out, but gets nailed by a kick to the ribs. Reigns throws Rusev to the floor. Rusev comes right back to the apron, but Reigns cuts him off, sending him into the steel steps. Reigns goes out and continues to using the steel steps. Rusev eventually turns it around and works Reigns over on the floor. Reigns goes down after getting sandwiched. Rusev ran Reigns' face into the steel, and Rusev brings it back in and keeps control. Well, my feed went out from USA Gold's website. They had like 5 links for it, and the first one was buffering, and the other ones wouldn't even come up. So I had to go to my other stream to watch the rest of it from there. Reigns sidesteps at one point, but Rusev comes right back with a hip toss, goes for a headbutt, but Reigns moves. Reigns comes back and unloads in the corner as fans chant with the 10 count. Reigns floors Rusev with a big boot to the face. Reigns waits for Rusev to get back up. Rusev rolls out to the floor for a breather. Reigns comes back, goes out, and surprises Rusev with a drive-by. But Rusev blocks it and sends Reigns into the steel steps. Rusev sends Reigns into the still again. Rusev grabs partner still steps and nails Reigns. Rusev put another step shot to Reigns, this one sending him to the floor again. Rusev throws the steps in one set of steps inside the ring. Rusev brings Reigns in the ring, but puts the steps on the top rope in the corner. Rusev goes to whip Reigns face first into the steel steps, but he blocks it. Reigns blocks it again and rocks Rusev with strikes. Reigns clotheslines Rusev out to the floor. Reigns sends Rusev into the steel again. Rusev fights back on the floor and torpedoes Reigns into the steel cell wall. Rusev goes under the ring and brings out a kendo stick out. Momentarily, Reigns comes out of nowhere with another drive-by, this time nailing him. Reigns grabs a kendo stick for himself and smacks Rusev with it like twice and then just gets rid of it. Reigns unloads and beats Rusev down with a stick. Reigns brings it back in the ring, but Rusev kicks him with a low blow using the rope. Rusev ties Reigns up in the ropes and beats him down with the kendo stick. Reigns nails a big clothesline out of nowhere and gets a 2 count. As they go back and forth, Rusev blocks a Samoa drop on the steel steps and delivers a Superman punch. Reigns eventually nails a Superman punch, but Rusev kicks out at 2. Fans boo as Reigns readies for a spear. He runs into a super kick. Rusev sends a face first into the steps on top of the rope, but Reigns kicks out a 2 count. Rusev stomps and applies the accolade. Rusev keeps the hold locked in for a minute or so until Reigns starts to hulk up. Rusev reapplies the hold, but Reigns breaks free. Reigns charges, but Rusev drops him with a kick to the head. Reigns rolls to the floor, and Rusev follows. Rusev goes under the ring and brings out a big chain out. Wraps it around his fist. Goes to unload on Reigns, but Reigns knocks the chain away. Unloaded on Rusev himself at ringside. Reigns brings it back in the ring, and Rusev gets the chain and beats Reigns down with it. Dueling chants start again. Rusev brings the other half of the steel steps in the ring. Rusev stands on the steps, but Reigns fights back. Rusev slams Reigns' head into the steps, and then sends him shoulder first into it. Rusev put a super kick for a 2 count. Rusev lays Reigns on the top of the steps, grabs the chain. Rusev applies the accolade on top of the steps and uses the chain to pull back on Reigns' mouth. Rusev tightens the hold with his arms, but Reigns starts powering up. Reigns gets Rusev on the shoulders and then drops him on the top of the steps with a small drop. Rusev stands on the steps, but Reigns spears him off of him for the win. Roman Reigns retains after the match. Reigns recovers and go to replays. We come back and Reigns raising the title on top of the steps. He hits the corner to pose for the fans. We go backstage with Tom Phillips and with Kevin Owens. Owens says, as brutal as it was, he's going to make Rusev and versus Reigns look like a cakewalk as he retains over Seth Rollins tonight. Bayley versus Dana Brooke was up next. We go to the ring. Out first comes Bayley. Dana Brooke was out next. Follow back and forth to start the match. Bayley drops Dana coming out of the corner. Covers for a pin attempt. Dana catches Bayley and drops her injured shoulder into the top turnbuckle. Dana keeps control and works Bayley around the ring. Dana with another 2 count and more trash talking. Dana brings Bayley back in and keeps working on her arm. Dana with more offense and shoulder thrust into the corner. Bayley blocks the move and then drop kicks Dana in the head. More back and forth as Dana with a forearm on the apron. Bayley with more blocks, but Dana slams her bad arm over the top rope. Bayley fights back with one good arm and makes a comeback. Bayley keeps control and tosses Dana out. Bayley with a low running clothesline. Bayley with a corkscrew elbow for a 2 count. Dana blocks the belly to belly. Bailey to belly suplex, but Bailey comes right back and nails another one for the win. After the match, Bailey celebrated with the fans as we get replays. Mick Foley is backstage with Stephanie McMahon, talking about tonight and Survivor Series. Chris Jericho walked in and said they should put some thought into who they choose for Team Raw because of who SmackDown is able to choose. Foley interrupted Jericho and almost gets added to the list for the third time. Jericho says he should be the first choice for Team Raw, and Owens should be the second. Jericho says he and Owens should be co-captains. Foley says Jericho should worry about how Owens will make it out of the cell tonight. It looks like Jericho adds Foley to the list before walking off. Announces hype tonight's post show on the WWE Network, Raw Talk. There's a new program. Roman Reigns and Bayley will be guests with Lawler, Renee, Lita, and Booker. As advertised. Just some of the winners of tonight's event. Enzo Amore and Big Cass versus Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson was up next. We go out to the ring. Out comes Enzo and Big Cass to a pop. They cut promos on their opponents. Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson were out next after their big stints. Enzo starts with Anderson as they go at it. Cass ends up launching Enzo out onto both opponents early on. Enzo brings Anderson back in the ring, but he rolls right back out. Enzo chases him back in, but Gallows tags in. Enzo brings Gallows to the floor and ducks a move from Anderson, but can't avoid a big clothesline from Gallows on the floor. Cass comes over to warn them. Gallows brings Enzo back in and goes to work. Gallows keeps control and hits a drop kick. Gallows with a suplex for a 2 count. Gallows with a headlock. Gallows drops Enzo into the turnbuckle and tags in Anderson. Anderson with a big kick to the face for a 2 count. Anderson then takes Enzo to the top for a superplex, but is blocked. Enzo sends Anderson to the mat and nails a jumping DDT. Cass gets the tag and unloads on both Gallows and Anderson. Cass splashes Gallows and then Anderson. Then Gallows again. Anderson avoids the splash, but gets booted off the apron. Cass turns around and sidesteps the Gallows boot. Cass slams Gallows and drops the Empire elbow. Cass with a follow-away slam on Gallows. Gallows dodges the boot. Anderson tags in and kicks Cass off the apron. Enzo is a legal man now. He nails a crossbody on Anderson and runs his mouth. Gallows comes over, but Enzo fights him off. Gallows gets the upper hand, and in comes Anderson for the Magic Killer and the win. Kind of like to hurry up this match for the finish. After the match, Gallows and Anderson make their exit while Cass checks on Enzo in the middle of the ring. Gallows and Anderson stand tall and look back at the ring as we go to replays. And we see the cell lowering around the ring to get our second Hell in a Cell match for the Universal title match. Hell in a Cell Universal title match, Seth Rollins versus Kevin Owens. We go to the cell, and out first comes Universal Champion Kevin Owens. Seth Rollins is out next, back and forth to start for several minutes as they come back inside the ring. We see the cell lowering around the ring as we get a video package for the Universal title match. I think the results out of whack here. All right, Rollins nails a nice sling blade at one point. Rollins puts a table on the floor, but comes back in and goes at it with back at it with Owens. Owens hits a sick cannonball. Owens misses a pop-up power bomb and blocks a pedigree. They trade super kicks. Rollins with a Pele kick. Owens with a big clothesline. More back and forth and in and out of the cell. Referee ends up going down with a fire extinguisher shot accidentally from Owens. Owens is acting like he didn't know how to use it. He just turns the extinguisher, and the referee's right there. So the door is open to get a new referee come down, and Jericho is also running down and locks himself inside the cell. Rollins takes Jericho down. Owens with a closed 2 count on Rollins. The stupid idiot chant starts up for the crowd. Owens goes to the top, but Rollins runs up for a superplex, but it's blocked. They end up on the mat, and Rollins goes for a pedigree, but it's blocked. Jericho takes a pedigree. More counters and blocks. Rollins power bombs Owens through the two tables he had leaned up on the outside earlier. Now, one he had it like on the floor, and then he put one on the ring apron, leading up to the cage, steel fence. Well, the holy shit chants are in front of the crowd. Rollins then does a frog splash for a 2 count as Jericho pulls the referee out, preventing the 3 count. Rollins then takes out Jericho on the floor, beating him around while Owens is down inside the ring. Rollins does a running power bomb into the fence. Rollins comes right in and eats a super kick. Owens does a pop-up power bomb for a close 2 count. Jericho gets back up as Owens mounts Rollins in the ring with rights, elbows, and headbutts. Jericho brings a chair in and hands it to Owens. Jericho strikes on Owens. Owens unloads on Rollins with a chair. Rollins comes back with a chair shots of his own. Owens drops Rollins on a chair with a DDT. Jericho and Owens keep control and set up 2 chairs in the middle of the ring. Owens powerbomb Rollins through the 2 chairs and covers for the win. After the match, Owens got title and raised it as we get replays. Apologies for the spotty coverage of the match, as the WWE Network was having all trouble through the night throughout. So it wasn't my feed. It was the network buffering. Jericho opens the cage door and Owens leaves, but Jericho goes back in the ring to drop Rollins with a code breaker. Jericho talks some trash to Rollins and stands tall with his fist raised. Jericho's music plays and we get Owens stumbling to the stage. Jericho makes his exit and joins Owens as Rollins tries to recover. Then we go back to the panel for more discussion, backstage or wherever they're at. Raw Cruiserweight title match. Up next, we got Brian Kendrick versus TJ Perkins. We go to the ring, and out first comes Brian Kendrick. Clue. The winners of your match are going to be the first ones to come out. Raw Cruiserweight Champion TJ Perkins out next. Then we get in the middle. They meet in the middle of the ring, shake hands before the bell. No shenanigans yet. Kendrick makes it clear early on that he's not going to let Kendrick win. Back and forth start until Perkins takes control. Kendrick ends up tying Perkins' hand to the bottom rope. Kendrick works Perkins over and covers for another 2 count. Kendrick keeps Perkins grounded and gets a neck break. A neck breaker breaks up that. They end up on the floor coming back in. Perkins takes control and goes to the top. Perkins goes off the top, but Kendrick drop kicks him in midair for a close 2 count. Perkins keeps control and hits the detonation kick for a close 2 count. Perkins hits a wrecking ball drop kick, but Kendrick counters the next move and drops Perkins on his neck with a belly to back. Kendrick with a 2 count. Kendrick with another counter into the captain's hook submission. Perkins turns it around to the knee bar. But Kendrick gets to the bottom rope to break up that. Kendrick misses the side spread number 2. Goes down on his knee. Actually, he didn't sell it real that much. So coming down, it's like backflip, forward flip. Landed on his feet. Kind of looked like it, but he was fine. Perkins watches from the top and comes down to the mat as the referee checks on Kendrick. Referee is pushing TJ Perkins back. Perkins comes over, but the referee warns him to get back. Perkins checks on Kendrick as Perkins picks him up, but Kendrick drops him with a cheap headbutt. Kendrick tries to get the captain's hook applied, and Perkins taps for the finish. Winner and new Raw Cruiserweight Champion, Brian Kendrick. After the match, Kendrick celebrated with the title as we go to replays. We get backstage segment where it appears Sheamus and Cesaro are on the same page, but the tension is still there. Raw Tag Team title match, Sheamus and Cesaro versus New Day. Back to the ring, out come the Raw Tag Team Champions, New Day. They come out first. So, you know they're going to win, but they keep the titles anyways. Xavier takes the mic first. They cut promos. Kofi gets a pop for being from Boston. Xavier starts off with Cesaro as Kofi watches from the floor, back and forth from both teams to start. Woods gets a close 2 count on Sheamus. Sheamus drops him with the next handle. Sheamus kept Woods grounded for just about 1 or 2 minutes. Big E finally got the tag and unloaded on Sheamus. Big E with a splash. Cesaro runs in, but gets tossed out to the floor. Woods runs the ropes and leaps out onto Cesaro. Sheamus misses a road kick on Big E. Big E catches Sheamus and powerbombs him for a close 2 count. Sheamus blocked Big ending and scoop slams Big E for a 2 count. Woods tags in and hits a cross body on Sheamus. Sheamus rolls through for a 2 count. Sheamus with white noise on Woods for a close 2 count. The shame chants started from the crowd. Cesaro tags in. Sheamus hits a rolling senton on Woods. Cesaro follows up with boots to Woods for a 2 count. Cesaro goes for a Cesaro swing, but he can't hit it. Woods drops Cesaro and Sheamus with super kicks. Woods goes to the top. Nails a big elbow drop on Cesaro for a 2 count. Big E gets knocked off the apron by Cesaro. Cesaro unloads on Woods with uppercuts and hits. He gets the swing in this time. Cesaro applies a sharpshooter. Big E runs in to break it up with a belly to belly suplex. Big E tags in as he pulls his partner over, tags himself in. Scoops Cesaro. Woods tags in for the midnight hour, but Sheamus knocks Woods off the top. Sheamus goes for a brogue kick on Big E, but nails Cesaro instead. Has just moved out of the way. He's shocked. Big E and Sheamus tumble over the top to the floor. Woods crawls back in and covers Cesaro for a 2 count. As Sheamus breaks the pinfall. Sheamus knocks Big E back to the floor. Woods gets hit over the top as well. Sheamus goes to the top and splashes out onto all 3 members of the New Day. Sheamus rolls Cesaro in as Woods also makes it back in before the 10 count. Cesaro catches a running kick and turns it into a sharpshooter on Woods. Cesaro drags him to the middle of the ring. Sheamus stops Big E from getting in. Big E sends Sheamus to the barrier. Sheamus stops Big E with Francesca number 2. Shot to the back. Kofi comes over and drops Sheamus with a Trouble in Paradise. Woods is tapping in the sharpshooter, but the referee calls for the bell after seeing Kofi nail Sheamus. New Day retains. Winner by disqualification. Sheamus and Cesaro. After the match, champions leave with their titles as Cesaro and Sheamus attempt to recover. Back to replays of the finish. We got hype for Goldberg versus Lesnar and Goldberg's appearance on Raw tomorrow. And we get a video package for tonight's main event, Hell in a Cell, for the Raw Women's title, Charlotte Flair versus Sasha Banks. We go to the ring. Out comes Charlotte first. She enters as fans start chanting, "We want Sasha" for the hometown star. Her music finally hits it out, and she comes. Raw Women's Champion in a Cadillac Escalade with security surrounding her. Sasha exits the Cadillac and makes her way over to the ramp. Sasha makes her way to the ring as we wait for the sail to be lowered. We get formal ring introductions from JoJo and Charlotte gets booed. Sasha gets a big hometown pop. They start talking trash. Sail is finally lowered around the ring, but as it's lowering, Charlotte attacks with a cheap shot before the cell gets lowered in place. And she knocks Sasha to the floor and works her over. As she's talking trash, Sasha fights back and takes Charlotte into the crowd. Charlotte turns back around. Sasha fights back in the middle of the fans. They fight back back to ringside, and Sasha tosses Charlotte over the barrier. The cell is all the way down now on the floor. Sasha takes apart one of the announce table for a pop. Charlotte goes to climb the cell for a big pop. Sasha grabs her leg, but gets kicked off, and then Sasha climbs back up. Only gets about 3 or 4 feet up in the air. They climb up, like I said, and Sasha slams Charlotte face first into the cage, sending her to the floor. Charlotte gets up and grabs Sasha, power bombing her from the cell through the announcer table. A big holy shit chant from the crowd. Charlotte won't back off. A referee yells at her and gets in her face. Both referees check on Sasha, and Charlotte looks on and talks trash. She tries to grab Sasha again, but gets warned by the official. Sasha stumbles to her feet as fans chant for her. Wait a minute, in a Hell in a Cell, there's no disqualification, so why is the referee yelling at her? Charlotte tells them to ring the bell. Because the match hasn't started, that's why. She stands on the announce table and talks more trash. The referee helps Sasha round ringside, checking on her like the match is not even going to happen. She pushes another referee off, but falls down. The referee's called for the paramedics to come down and check on Sasha, and she couldn't stand up. And Charlotte's yelling at the referee to give her the title. Duh. Match didn't start. You can't win it on a forfeit. Charlotte enters the ring and shows off as they put a neck brace on an emotional Sasha. Charlotte continues yelling about being champion as Sasha is loaded on a stretcher. Charlotte sings, na 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 na, hey hey hey, goodbye, to Sasha. But cables get stuck on the stretcher. JoJo announces that Sasha is unable to compete due to forfeit. Charlotte is now the winner and the new Raw. Not. Sasha gets off the stretcher and the referee waves off JoJo's announcement. Sasha goes nuts and knocks down a paramedic. She enters the cell as the referee makes sure she's ready to go. She says she is, and the bell rings. Charlotte goes to attack, but Sasha hits her. Sasha gets the upper hand, and Charlotte yells to be let out of the door. Sasha is still fired up, but until Charlotte puts her face first into the ring post. Charlotte counters and catapults Sasha into the cell. The referee checks on Sasha again. Charlotte brings her back in the ring for 2 counts. Charlotte with knees to the back. More back and forth until Sasha hits the backstabber. Charlotte still keeps control and dumps Sasha to the floor. Charlotte brings a steel chair into the ring, but Sasha baseball slides her into the cage, and Sasha with another slide. Sasha runs the ropes and dives out, sending Charlotte into the steel again. They come back in the ring, and Sasha grabs the chair. Charlotte kicks her. Sasha blocks a shot into the chair. More back and forth and blocks. Flair with chops in the corner now. As Charlotte climbs up and poses over Charlotte. As fans boo. Sasha pulls her leg out and unloads in the corner. Charlotte keeps fighting, but gets tripped face first into the chair. Sasha with more face shots into the chair. Sasha runs the ropes, but Charlotte catches her and drops her on top of the chair with a side slam. The chair doesn't collapse, but Sasha falls to the mat in pain. Charlotte with a 2 count. Charlotte kept control and bent Sasha's back around the ring post. They end up on the floor. Sasha leaps off the cage and nails Charlotte with a double knees. Sasha sends Charlotte into the steel a few times. Sasha pins Charlotte into the steel with the double knees a few times. Sasha brings it back in the ring and plays to the crowd for a pop. Sasha with knees in the corner. Sasha with a suplex. She keeps it held, but pays tribute to Eddie Guerrero with the three amigo suplexes. Fan chamber Eddie. Sasha goes to the top and hits a frog smash for a 2 count. Again, Eddie style. Sasha gets the bank statement applied, but Charlotte makes it to the floor. Charlotte with a thrust to the gut and a boot. Sasha with knees to the gut. Sasha ends up putting the mangled chair into the corner, sending Charlotte into it with double knees. Sasha is laid out on the floor after Charlotte pulls her out of the ring face first, and she hits the steps. Charlotte rolls Sasha in the ring, goes under for a table. Charlotte stands the table up on the floor, goes to the top for a suplex on Sasha. Sasha fights her. Charlotte falls to the apron and slips, but holds on. Sasha slips. Sasha kicks Charlotte off the apron, and she falls onto the table, barely collapsing it. Sasha goes to the floor and slowly brings Charlotte back in the ring. Sasha with a 2 count. Sasha goes back under the ring and gets another table as the fans pop. She brings this table in, but Charlotte tries to push it back out. She catches Sasha in the corner in her upper body and sends her back into the steel. Charlotte stands the table up in the ring now. Sasha comes back in and they trade shots back and forth until Charlotte runs over Sasha with a boot. Charlotte gets a figure 4 on, and it's locked in. Charlotte brings it into the figure 8, but Sasha grabs her hair, grabs a chair and unloads into her hip to break the hold. Fans are chanting for Sasha now. They are both up. Charlotte nails the forearm. Charlotte yells at Sasha to respect her. Sasha fires back with forearm. Sasha with another big strike, but they both collide and go down. Double crossbody. Sasha tries to get the statement applied, but Charlotte hits 3 backstabbers for a close 2 count. Charlotte places Sasha on top of the table and chops her in the chest. Charlotte talks more trash and delivers another chop. She climbs to the top for the big moonsault, but Sasha cuts her off. Sasha pulls the table across the ring and leans it in the corner. She goes back to Charlotte and tries to powerbomb her across the ring through the table, but she collapsed. Charlotte ragdolls Sasha on top of the table in the corner twice. Charlotte with a natural selection for the win and the title. Winner and new Raw Women's Champion, Charlotte. After the match, Charlotte gets the title and celebrates as we go to replays. Sasha is slow to recover. Hell in a Cell goes off the air with Charlotte holding her title. Hi. And that concludes my the Hell in a Cell results. Thanks again. Peace out. See you when I'm in. By the way, if you don't know, just call me brothers and sisters.